Hello and welcome to Should I Buy This Ship Anyway, my new series where we're going to take a look at the stats of some ships, compare them to some similar ships and other options, and make a decision as to whether she's worth the resources that she's made available for, or whether you should skip her and go for something else instead. Today we're looking at Illinois, which is a new tier 9 battleship being added into the game. It is under the American nationality, and it is essentially what happens when you slap Des Moines guns on an Iowa hull. Let's have a look at the stats, we'll have some gameplay, we'll have some memes as always, we'll have a good time, and at the end I'll give you my recommendation as to whether she's worth the 51,000 research points she's going to cost when she releases with the next update in a few days' time.
Okay, let's go.
So we're going to be comparing Illinois to Iowa, Des Moines, Buffalo, Alsace, Lyon, and Ruprecht. I feel these ships give a good sort of benchmark of similarity. You know, obviously Iowa's the same hull, Des Moines has the same guns, Buffalo has the same guns as well, Alsace is another HE spammer, Lyon's another HE spammer, and Ruprecht has fast rate of fire guns. So I think that's a decent benchmark of comparison to go up against. Now, let's start with the health, and as you can see, let's do it this way. Illinois' health is nowhere near as good as Iowa. It's got 10,000 less. I think it's the same as Iowa's A-hull. It is the same as Iowa's A-hull. So it's an Iowa A-hull, which is interesting to think about. So you've not got a lot of health for a tier 9 battleship. Significantly less than Alsace and Iowa, but still more than Lyon and Ruprecht, which is something, at least. Now, speed. Iowa is obviously very fast. Illinois is not as fast as Iowa because, again, it's stock Iowa. So it's 32.5 knots, which is still very respectable. Only half a knot slower than Iowa, so you're really not going to notice it that much. Only slightly slower than Des Moines and Buffalo as well, which is quite surprising. But obviously it accelerates slower because the power-to-weight ratio is significantly worse. But it is faster than Ruprecht, Alsace, and Lyon. But of course it doesn't, doesn't... I don't know what I'm saying, it doesn't.
Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about?
Detectability. Now, it does have worse concealment than Iowa again, so that's interesting. Not as bad as Alsace, it doesn't get spotted from that far away, but it gets spotted from, I think it's about 12.4 when it's fully upgraded. We'll see in a bit. So, yeah, the concealment is not excellent. It's nothing really notable. Now, the maneuverability is also awful. It's stock Iowa. It's worse than Iowa. It's the worst on this selection by far. Obviously, way worse than the cruisers. But it is not a very maneuverable ship, and that is carried on with the turning radius, which is pretty bad as well. So you're not going to be making many dashing maneuvers in the Illinois. Torpedo protection is not really existent either. It's the same as the Iowa, 25%. It's decent for a battleship. It's fine. Now we move on to the main battery, and let's have a look at the HE DPM. And as you can see, it is almost as much as Des Moines. Now it does have more guns than Des Moines, but they do reload slower. I think it reloads at about 7.4 fully upgraded. So yeah, it's pretty good DPM on this platform though, especially at tier 9. If you can get all of those guns round, amazing DPM. The AP DPM is also really good. Don't forget, these are still Des Moines guns. They have the same AP performance, so it's really a viable tactic, even against battleships at close range and cruisers at longer ranges. But mostly in the ship, you will be spamming the HE, and the HE DPM is very respectable. Something else respectable about this is, of course, going to be, while we're on the subject of HE, the fires per minute, which is 11.2, which is very nice. The fire chance is 14%, same as all these other ships, so it can definitely set a lot of fires just by spamming the HE out. And that is a very viable tactic, especially when you're up-tiered and against lots of battleships. You will struggle to do, like, hard impact damage in Illinois against battleships specifically even, but you can deal a lot of fire damage in Illinois very quickly, which is very nice indeed. Go back to the main battery. The range is... It's obviously worse than Iowa, but Iowa has exceptional range. The range is really quite bad for a battleship, but it is better than the cruisers, which is important to note. It is significantly better, and that is quite important because it means you can still hit out quite far, and you should take range mod in slot 3. Not necessarily because you need the range, because the guns are really quite hard to aim at that distance, but because it makes your shots more accurate the closer in they get. Now, the traverse time is actually very interesting. It's the same as Des Moines and Buffalo. They traverse pretty fast, and that is pretty good for meaning your guns can always stay on target. Now, the accuracy is pretty good as well. Illinois may have the same Sigma as Iowa, if not worse Sigma than Iowa, but it does have battlecruiser dispersion, you see? Same as Ruprecht, same dispersion as Ruprecht. It's slightly more accurate than Ruprecht because of the Sigma, but of course you fire way more shells, and these guns are significantly more accurate than something like an Iowa or an Alsace or a Lyon, but obviously not as accurate as the cruisers, but you do have a higher barrel count as well, so it sort of makes up for it. And as you can see as well, the DPM is significantly higher than Buffalo, which I guess sort of makes sense. Now, the AP shells, they are the same as Des Moines, so they have the improved impact angles and penetrations, so that is very nice for dealing with a lot of things like that. And I think that's pretty much it for the stats. We can look at the anti-aircraft suite quickly, look at the AA strength. It is the same as a... Oh, it's... No, sorry. I'm wrong. It's better than Iowa. I don't know why it's better. Let's see if we can find out. It's got it's got better medium range. The flak strength is lower than Alsace, but anyway, it's aircraft. You don't really care about that. And onto the consumables. We can see that Illinois gets the standard American battleship repair party, which heals more percentage, has the standard number of charges, and is pretty decent like that. It doesn't have hydro, it doesn't have radar, doesn't have an engine boost, doesn't have defensive fire, doesn't have any aviation facilities either, so you cannot take a spotter plane to extend the range even further. But the consumable set is pretty standard, and there's nothing really outstanding. So there you go. This is how Illinois compares with other ships that are comparable to it. Now we're going to go have some gameplay. We're going to play a few matches. I'll tell you my opinions, and we'll have a look at the ship in the port. See you there. Okay, so before we jump into the games, let's take a quick look at the armor layout, stuff like that. So you can see it's the same armor layout as an Iowa. It's pretty standard battleship armor. 38mm plating is decent. 32mm belt everywhere else. 30mm deck. Can't be overmatched. Pretty decent. But as you can see, the Citadel is here. It is under the water. It's pretty standard. If you know the Iowa's protection scheme, you know the Illinois' protection scheme. It's just an a-hole Iowa. So there you go. And as you can see, fully upgraded, the concealment is 12.8. Fully upgraded in the way that I've got it set up. The reload is only 7.9 seconds, which obviously goes down when you take Adrenaline Rush into account. The battery firing range is 21.4 kilometers, and the speed is 34 knots with the speed flag equipped like I have. And as you can see, we have this equipment loadout. I've gone for the reload mod because the accuracy is already good enough, to be honest, and the range mod to get that better accuracy at closer ranges because of the dispersion curves and stuff like that. And the captain build is just the standard battleship captain build. I don't know if I should have taken IFHE. I've not really looked into it. No, it looked straightforward. It's fine. So anyway, let's get into the gameplay. Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting one. Boy, this is going to be a lot of fun.
I never asked for this.
I mean, hey, at least look on the bright side. We can see how Illinois performs in probably the worst matchmaking possible. We're just missing a Clausewitz for the absolute perfect 10 of terrible matchmaking. And a submarine, of course. A tree might actually be quite a good target to show off the firepower of this ship. See, look at that. Look at those salvos as well. This reload is quite incredible. Those salvos are quite high. I have quite a lot of fun with the ship, I'll be honest. French battleships are especially tasty because they are just coated in 32mm plating, so this HE just bites right through. If you're fighting, say, an Iowa, for example, that's got 38mm plating and deck and stuff like that, your HE cannot penetrate, but on stuff like a Patrie or a Republique or an Alsace example, you can just punch right through, and it's really amazing. Let's try the AP against this broadside Yamato. Well, broadside-ish Yamato. So we did nothing with the HE because it all shattered off the belt. Let's see what the AP is going to do. Yep, yeah, that's effective. See as well, I can get all of my turrets firing here. The rear turret firing angle is quite nice. Look at that. About 30 degrees. Right, we're going to brawl this Duncan. Let's fucking go. Oh, look at this. Yes, get the AP loaded close range. Maybe I have to get a second salvo off because of the reloads. I'm not sure, though. Obviously, you've got a lot more DPM than most battleships will have. Just a lot more. So you can win most close range trading brawls if you can get their broadside. AP performance is very, very acceptable. Certainly Des Moines AP, alright. As you can see, though, we're shooting at almost max range on this carrier here, and the shell travel time is quite absurd. Well, that was a good match. Over 100,000 damage. We did quite a lot. I think we came quite high on the team. Yeah, we had quite a big impact. And as you can see, we used both shell types quite a lot. Did quite a lot of the HE. Didn't do that much fire damage this match, but we did damage to quite a variety of targets. So yeah, I think that was quite a good match. We'll do one more.
Another one.
Yeah, I want to try and keep these videos somewhat short, so I'm going to do one more match. And this is a pretty decent matchup. Quite a few cruisers we're up against. A Des Moines, a Stalingrad, a Hindenburg. Another carrier. Quite a few battleships, but battleships we can burn down with a HE if we need to. A few destroyers. This should be an interesting match. Now, I'm just imagining a version of this ship with a radar at tier 10. Could you imagine that? Like a Missouri with Des Moines guns? Let me know in the comments below if you think that would be a good idea, or if it would entirely break tier 10. We're getting into a close range fight here with this Brest. Doesn't have torpedoes, which is nice. You know, I'm going to be quite aggressive here, actually. Maybe this is going to be suicidal, but if this is suicidal, I'm going to do another match. But I'm going to push quite hard on this Brest. Well, I'll lead a lot more than I thought I would with these shells, because I'm, you know, playing a battleship, but it's got the guns of a cruiser. It's very, really fucky with my brain. You know, I think the accelerated shell switching skill is going to be almost essential when playing Illinois. You're going to be switching ammo quite a lot. And while the reload is not long, being able to switch shells in just a few seconds is very, very nice. This is a good demonstration of how fast the reload gets with Adrenaline Rush, though, as well. Because our reload is down to 6.8 seconds. We're approaching actual DM reloads. There we go. Nice. Not really sure what to do in this situation now, though. I'm not going to be spotted soon. Which is somewhat nice, I guess. I couldn't get the guns around in time. Well, we took quite a lot of potential. We did a decent amount of damage, but obviously that was not a fantastic game. But oh well. Well, that was not a great game to end on, but we don't sugarcoat here. We show you only the real games that I play. No cherry picking. None of this making myself look good bullshit, because you all know I'm bad anyway. But anyway, that was the Illinois. My recommendation? I think she's very good. She's going to be 51,000 research points available when the update drops on Thursday, Wednesday. I can never remember the day. But I recommend her a lot. She is incredibly unique and actually unique. There is literally no other ship like Illinois in the game. A battleship with these kind of guns, great fun. The HE, great fun. The AP, really good if you know when to use it. It's a really good experience, and she can't take much damage, but she can dish it out. So Illinois gets a big thumbs up from me, and I hope this format gets a big thumbs up from you as well, and I hope this video gets a big thumbs up as well. See what I did there? Oh, I'm really clever. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm gonna make this kind of format probably for new ship releases, so you can get a bit of a more detailed feedback, and I'll obviously keep making the Welsh numbers guides for probably these ships as well in the future, and also like, I don't know, older premium ships, stuff like that. I'll continue to make them, and I'm gonna experiment with some new formats as well. Try some different things. Try and find what you guys enjoy as well, and try and make content that no one else is making. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope you guys would as well. So anyway, I will see you next video, whenever that is, whatever it is. But have a nice time, and I'll see you later.